The psychology of editing. The invisible art of emotion. Editing isn't just about cutting clips. It's about shaping emotion, guiding attention, and controlling how a story feels. It's the invisible hand of filmmaking, and it works on our minds in ways we don't even realize. In this guide, we'll explore how timing, pacing, and cuts can influence emotion and perception. Welcome to the psychology of editing. Timing is when a cut happens. In comedy, a half-second pause before a punchline can land a joke, or kill it. In drama, holding on a face a moment longer can add emotional weight. Cut too early and it feels rushed. Too late, and it feels flat. Perfect timing creates flow. It tells our brains, this moment matters. And we feel it, even if we don't notice it consciously. But timing is also cultural, contextual. What feels sharp in a Hollywood blockbuster might feel jarring in a European art film. Different audiences have different expectations of rhythm, and the best editors know how to play with those expectations. Legendary editor Thelma Schoonmaker, known for her work with Martin Scorsese, often speaks of timing not in terms of seconds but in heartbeats. She waits for the emotional truth to pulse before making a cut. That's how precise and human timing can be. Pacing is the speed at which a scene or an entire film unfolds. Fast pacing can create excitement or anxiety. Think action sequences with quick cuts and high-energy sound. Slow pacing can build tension or intimacy. A lingering shot of a hallway in a horror film makes us squirm. We're waiting, anticipating, leaning in. But great pacing isn't just fast or slow, it's dynamic. It breathes, it builds, pauses, and releases. It keeps the audience engaged by constantly shifting rhythm. Consider Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. The pacing is meticulously structured using overlapping timelines. It rises and falls like a tide, creating suspense that's both cerebral and visceral. Or think of Moonlight, where scenes linger in silence, allowing emotions to unfold like slow-burning poetry. In truth, pacing is the emotional pulse of a film. It mirrors our internal experience. When it's in sync with the character's journey, we are not just watching, we are living the story. A cut is more than a transition, it's a psychological suggestion. The Kuleshov effect shows us this clearly. A neutral face followed by an image of soup? The audience thinks the character is hungry. Followed by a coffin? Now he's grieving. Same shot. Different meaning because of the edit. That's the magic of cuts. They form emotional connections between images. The audience fills in the blanks. And this manipulation isn't deception, it's storytelling. Editors don't lie, they reveal. But they reveal selectively, crafting a pathway for emotional discovery. Each cut is a choice. A cut can echo a heartbeat, underscore a truth, or bury a secret. It can distort time, sharpen memory, or soften trauma. Editing becomes a language of feeling. Montage uses this principle beautifully. Think of a training montage. Individual shots, running, falling, sweating, rising again, build an emotional arc. Our brains connect these fragments into a story of growth, perseverance, or triumph. Montage collapses time, amplifies emotion, and shapes story, without a single word of dialogue. But montage is more than efficiency. It's poetic compression. Eisenstein, the Soviet pioneer of montage, believed that the collision of images could create new ideas. ideas not present in either shot alone. In Rocky, montage turns raw footage into transformation. In Requiem for a Dream, it becomes a visual scream, overwhelming us with repetition and addiction. In the hands of a master, montage isn't just clever, it's cathartic. Rhythm is the pattern of cuts, the tempo of sound and image. In horror, rhythm controls tension. A long, quiet shot. Then bam, a sudden cut and loud noise. We jump not because of what we saw, but when we saw it. The cut is your scalpel. The timeline is your canvas, and your audience's heart. That's the masterpiece you shape frame by frame. Good rhythm manipulates attention. It can soothe or startle, surprise or satisfy. It keeps the viewer emotionally aligned with the scene. Think of Whiplash. The editing reflects jazz drumming. Rapid, fierce, irregular. It builds anxiety as if the film itself is playing the drums on your nervous system. Or Mad Max, Fury Road, where rhythm is chaos choreographed into coherence. Despite frenetic energy, every beat lands in tempo with the story. Rhythm isn't random, it's musical, it's primal. It's the difference between watching and feeling. Most films use continuity editing to keep the story flowing. It hides the cuts, making transitions feel seamless. But sometimes breaking the rhythm on purpose is powerful. Jump cuts, match cuts, and smash cuts grab attention. They interrupt flow, jolt the viewer, and shift tone. Used wisely, they create impact. Used carelessly, they confuse. Jean-Luc Godard shattered cinematic norms with jump cuts in Breathless. Edgar Wright transforms transitions into visual jokes. Stanley Kubrick uses match cuts, like the iconic Bone to Satellite in 2001. A space odyssey to leap across time and evolution in a single moment. Disruption, when intentional, wakes us up. It reminds us that film is not life, it's artifice. And sometimes awareness creates meaning. Now add sound into the equation. Editing isn't just visual. Audio shapes emotional perception too. A rising string note can signal dread. A sudden silence after chaos can be deafening. Dialogue, sound effects, and music all affect how we feel about what we see. Sound smooths transitions, sets mood, and enhances rhythm. It's the editor's secret weapon. In Jaws, the two-note motif created more fear than the shark itself. In The Social Network, the clashing rhythm of techno underscores internal tension. In A Quiet Place, silence becomes character. Every auditory choice is editorial intent. Sound doesn't just accompany emotion, it orchestrates it. And sometimes editing goes deeper, into the character's mind. This is subjective editing. Quick fragmented cuts during a panic attack. Blurred visuals to show confusion. Repetition to convey obsession. Here, editing becomes emotion itself. We don't just watch the character, we feel like them. In Black Swan, cuts fragment reality and fantasy. In Requiem for a Dream, visual repetition mimics addiction spiral. In Fight Club, subliminal flashes reflect inner turmoil. This style makes editing not just narrative, but experiential. We don't just learn about emotion, we live inside it. Finally, we come to manipulation. Editors are emotional engineers. They guide what we feel and when. They make us trust a villain or cry over a silent goodbye. They decide what we see, and just as importantly, what we don't. Have you ever cried during a film and didn't know why? It was the music, the pause, the close-up, the perfect cut. All placed just so to reach your heart without asking permission. That's the psychology of editing. It's silent, subtle, but incredibly powerful. So whether you're an editor, a filmmaker, or just a lover of cinema, remember this. Editing is where emotion is built, where tension is stretched, where stories are shaped not just by what's shown, but by how and when it's shown. The cut is your scalpel, the timeline is your canvas, and your audience's heart. That's the masterpiece you shape frame by frame. Frame by frame, you sculpt belief, memory, empathy. You decide when to hold a gaze, when to shatter silence, when to breathe, and when to suffocate. You turn stillness into suspense, chaos into clarity. And when the credits roll, you disappear, leaving only the echo of what you've made them feel. That is the power of editing, and that is why it matters.